It is exactly 9 p.m. on this 7th day of February 2024. Many thanks for making time to be with us. I am Ian Keitani and our sign language interpreter is Josephine Oko. This is The Insight and here are our top stories tonight.
Tonight on The Insight, angry Kangai residents set ablaze a bar responsible for the deaths of 13 people as the police arrest suspects.
I find that the prosecution has failed to establish a prima facie case against all the accused persons on all the charges, and I hereby acquit them.
Former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and 16 others freed in the 357 million shillings corruption case. And 3 suspects in connection with the Embakasi gas explosion to be held for 21 more days as investigations continue.
Now, welcome to the program. You can watch this bulletin live on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Lookuptv. Let's get going now. And the death toll of victims of the lethal Kirinyaga brew has risen to 13, with angry residents of Kangai village setting ablaze a bar suspected to have sold expired alcohol to the residents. As Shamila Barasa now reports, the locals are blaming the police of laxity and failing to arrest suspects even after numerous calls.
As the death toll of victims of illicit brew rose to 13 today, so did the anger of Kangai residents who set ablaze the alleged bar that sold the alcohol, taking matters into their own hands, saying they were revenging for the loss of their loved ones.
Tukaamua kuichoma, kuchukua sheria mkononi juu sasa watu wamechoka, watu wanakufa, tutaendelea kufa mpaka lini? Watoto wetu wataendelea kufa mpaka lini juu ya hii pombe?
Mimi ni mkaaji wa katika Kalikuini na tuko na huzuni sana kwa maana kumeaga watu wengi sana kwa hii ya pombe hapa kwa huyu mtu anaitwa California. Sijui ni namna gani.
Residents insisting that the police have been slow to respond to their many calls to arrest the suspect, and even when they made arrest, the suspects walked away scot-free.
Chukuliwa si ni pombe tu, hakuna hatua, watu wakilalamika anakuja anashikwa, anapelekwa, anarudi tena, anakuja kulingia watu hapa. Amejaribu kushikwa, watu wamelalamika, lakini hakuna kitu huwa inafanyika.
The illicit brew in Kangai, Kiambu County has claimed more lives, bringing the toll number to 13, while 4 others went blind.
Watu wengi sana na wengine wakakosa maso na wako hospitali. Sasa hata tujui kama serikali tutusaidia kwa maana ya masisi.
Shamila Baraza, Lookuptv.
Well, that incident puts on the spot the government's commitment to fight illicit brew, especially in the Mount Kenya region of battle or other fight that is spearheaded by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Moving forward, suspects linked to the bar that allegedly sold deadly alcohol that killed 13 people have been arrested and set to be arraigned in court. Confirming the incident, Regional Commissioner Frederick Shisia now says the suspects will be charged with murder, as Mevin Getembe now reports.
Investigations to ascertain the substance used in the illicit brew that killed at least 13 people after consuming expired alcohol takes shape. The main suspect linked to the bar in question has been arrested. Regional Commander Freddy Shisia now says the suspect could be arraigned in court and charged with murder.
Yes, arrests are there. They have been made, including the prime suspect is in custody. In the first place, ameua. Yes. Na mashtaka mengine itafuata. KRA watamwangalia, anti-counterfeit watamwangalia, KEBS watamwangalia, police nao watamwangalia. So, charges zitakuwa nyingi.
Shisia now wants the government to work along with other security agencies to tame rogue brewers.
Haustahili kuwa katika hiyo ofisi. Kwa hivyo nawaomba watumishi wa serikali wote ambao wako katika eneo hili waweze kuchukulia jambo hili kwa uzito na washirikiane kikamilifu jinsi inavyopaswa ili tuweze kufanya eneo la Kirinyaga liwe eneo nzuri.
Sports Culture and Social Services Executive Dennis Mushimi revealed that the County Liquor Licensing Committee had rejected the bar's application for license last year on allegations of selling illegal liquor.
Kutoka ofisi ya governor nataka kuhakikishia wananchi kwamba hii mba ya California tulifanya inspection December na tukai-reject. So kwa upande wa serikali ama kwa upande wa governor hii mba haijapewa license. Na nimesikia pia ingine hiyo ya Kandongo hatujaipea license. So amekuwa akioperate illegally na kupitia ofisi ya county commissioner tumekuwa tukimuarrest, anapelekwa kotini, anaachiliwa, lakini leo hii najua kupitia ofisi ya RC mazuri itapatikana.
Kirinyaga Deputy Speaker supported Mushimi's sentiments, noting that corruption witnessed in the government, especially in judiciary, is now wanting, asking the government to intervene.
Kana kwamba huyu ambaye mwenye kutenda hii kitendo kwa sababu ni muuaji amekuwa katika hii biashara ya pombe karibu zaidi ya miaka 15. Na hii pombe ni ile ya kifo na imejulikana ni ya kutengeneza, hapa mmeona, na anafanya namna hiyo kukiwa na uongozi ambayo umekuwa huku. Tumekuwa na Kiamashiri Police Station, tumekuwa na koti zetu za Baricho, lakini inaaminika kwamba mara tu anaposhikwa na polisi akipelekwa kotini anaachiliwa mara moja.
Mivin Getembe, Lookuptv.
To the corridors of justice now, and former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko and 16 others were today acquitted in a graft amounting to 357 million shillings belonging to the county government of Nairobi. Trial Magistrate Eunice Nyutu said the prosecution had failed to table enough evidence to sustain corruption charges against the accused persons. John Matava with more.
To freedom after the court acquitted them in the 357 million shillings corruption case, which has been pending since 2019. The infamous case which cost Sonko his governor seat position and prevented him from vying in the 2022 election is now behind him.
For us, as the defense, we thank God for this moment, and we also thank the court that the court has been very diligent and actually very courteous. The Honorable Nyutu, may God bless you, because you have been very courteous and very judicious and judicial in the manner in which you handle the case.
Trial Magistrate Eunice Nyutu acquitted the 17, saying there was no evidence placed before the court to warrant their conviction. Further, Nyutu expressed her frustrations brought about by the DPP, who she said has on several times sought an adjournment in the case.
Had we any such clear sabotage, frustration, scattering, and bungling of cases would be a thing of the past, especially when the cases involve a public agenda, national security, safety of the citizenry, or arise from the loss of public funds, such as in this instant case. Parliament or the Office of Public Prosecution itself ought to develop regulations for making public prosecutors accountable for the manner in which they conduct cases and hold them accountable for negligence as well as willful, premeditated, and connived loss of cases. In conclusion, I find that the prosecution has failed to establish a prima facie case against all the accused persons on all the charges, and I hereby acquit them pursuant to Section 210 of the Criminal Procedure Code.
The case has been in court since 2019, but the prosecution managed to call only 6 witnesses, with the prime one testifying more than a year.
This matter was instituted in the year 2019. Due to the intervening COVID pandemic, the trial took off on the 8th of November 2021. In the course of this trial, this court diligently put in measures to minimize adjournments.
We just thank God for the victory. That is all I can say for now.
John Matava, Lookuptv.
Now, after the acquittal of the former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, questions continue to linger over whether the flamboyant politician can now vie for an elective position in the coming elections. I spoke to lawyer Dunstan Omari, who argues that once the governor presents the judgment for review at the Supreme Court and is cleared, then he can vie for any seat come 2027.
With former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko being acquitted by Magistrate Eunice Nyutu in a case relating to the alleged misappropriation of funds amounting to 357 million belonging to the Nairobi County government, questions continue to linger on what the ruling means for the once embattled politician. The former governor, who had been barred from vying for an elective position, can vie again if he is cleared by the Supreme Court. This is according to city lawyer Dunstan Omari.
What he needs to do is to take that judgment and present it for review at the Supreme Court. Then he will be cleared, because the impeachment, the roots of the impeachment has been found to be hot air. So governor can hold now public office because he has no conviction.
However, Advocate Paul Macharia differs, noting that the governor was bundled out of office on various grounds, and despite the acquittal, he is yet to be cleared on the other charges that warranted his impeachment and being barred from running.
For you to be removed, it is not a single ground. Yes, one ground may fail, but if other grounds have not been set aside, you cannot still be able to vie for a position of a county governor.
With Magistrate Eunice Nyutu blaming the prosecution for bungling the case, calling on Parliament to develop regulations to hold prosecutors accountable, City Lawyer Omari rubbished those sentiments, terming them as hot air, with his counterpart Paul Macharia welcoming the move.
The magistrate is completely out of order. She was expecting a certain way of prosecution. The court has no jurisdiction on matters prosecution. Article 157 mandates the ODPP to prosecute, and therefore that trying to say that Parliament can review. She's not a court of record. If it was the High Court making that finding, it would have substance. So that to me, she went overboard, and she could not. Whatever she said is what I call hot air. It does not have any efficacy in law. It is her own sentiments. It's not binding to anybody.
A prosecutor cannot be taken into account for performing their duty. But then the magistrate is suggesting, then they have a duty of care. They need to demonstrate that even in conducting their cases, they exercise their due diligence.
Both lawyers, however, agree that the former governor is within his right to sue the state on grounds of malicious prosecution, if indeed he proves so.
There is what is called a malicious prosecution. He'll have to sue the Kenya government, so that if he proves that the prosecution was malicious, then he will be compensated. It is available in law. But it is him to prove that the prosecution was malicious. But he stands to be compensated heavily, and the loss of income from the time he lost his job as a governor.
Now, still on the corridors of justice is that 3 key suspects held in connection with the gas explosion tragedy that claimed 7 lives in Embakasi will be held for 21 more days to allow investigators to conclude their probe. Nairobi Magistrate Delphina Aleg on Tuesday ordered Derek Kimathi, the owner of the ill-fated station, together with Joseph Makau and Marian Mutete Kioko, both of whom are officers with NEMA, to remain in custody as the police build murder charges against them.
That investigation of such magnitude cannot be done in a day or two, as it needs a lot of intra-agency cooperations and have investigations concluded before the files are taken to the office of the Director of Public Prosecution. I equally agree with the defense that their clients are still innocent until proved otherwise. I beseech all of us, and I repeat, I beseech all of us to allow investigations to be done in the most humane and immediate possible way by the relevant authorities, because we are either directly affected or infected by this unfortunate mishap at Embakasi area as Kenyans. Conclusively, and most importantly, for the first, the second, and the fourth respondent, they will be held for the 21 days that applicant has applied for. For the third respondent, the court has taken judicial notice that he has a delicate medical condition that would require delicate measures as is being investigated. This court is equally a human rights defender and must balance these peculiar circumstances for the said respondent. And as such, this court hearing orders that he be put in a police station near to the hospital that he usually seeks his constant medication so that he can access his medical team at the soonest possible time in case of a crisis. That concerted investigations to commence with him so that he can be released within 10 and maximum of 14 days so that we balance the investigations and his health. That all the respondents herein will have this matter mentioned before this court on in the say 21 days, being the 28th day of February 2024. These are the orders of this court, read and delivered this 7th day of February 2024.
Well, we take a short break. After that particular story, we'll be back with more details, or rather more news items on this bulletin. Don't go away.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Well, welcome back to the bulletin. Let's continue. And the Attorney General, Justin Beda Muturi, today appeared before the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Finance and National Planning and that of Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works to answer to issues raised in the recently annulled Housing Levy 2023 by the courts. Stanley Ligaria attended that particular session and files the following story.
After failing to honor an invitation on Tuesday by a section of lawmakers, on Wednesday, Attorney General Justin Muturi availed himself within Parliament precincts, appearing before a joint parliamentary committee on debatable housing levy that has since been thwarted by the courts.
The Finance Act, wherein the Cabinet Secretary for Lands is the one that was giving authority to the KRA, has now been remedied by this provision.
The committee believed the whole process on the housing levy is discriminatory, with a keen interest to understand whether the levy is accepted by a majority of Kenyans, as well as whether consideration has been put in place for those in employment sector compelled to contribute to the kitty with no intention of getting a house, if at all the scheme is meant to benefit only the rich, questioning whether the government has ever thought of renting the constructed houses rather than selling the houses.
This element, and I've had occasion to argue with some of my friends in the judiciary, that it may look discriminatory, but who is ever going to do it? If it's not those of us that have been lucky.
This issue of land under Article 62 becomes a very critical issue, even as we're discussing on this affordable bill.
But how about a situation where you allocate money to institutions, and those institutions may not allocate those houses to individual persons? Because hostels, once hostels are done, you cannot allocate to students.
Members of the August House sought to understand whether the AG was involved during the drafting of the Finance Bill 2023, where the housing levy was discussed, as well as his take on the exclusion of county government on the contentious bill, and how the government plans to ensure Mama Mboga is deducted the 1.5% meant for the affordable housing.
In discharge of the functions between the two levels of government may be addressed through an express provision in the bill providing for consultation and cooperation where such arises.
In his defense, Muturi claimed that the keeping of deductions role was left to the instructing authority, revealing that as an Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, he does not engage in drafting of bills. However, his office has a legal team involved in drafting processes with no monopoly of ideas, owing to the fact that bill formulation involves a series of processes, sentiments echoed by Mwachi from the AG's legal office.
Let me start by saying, confirming that we were involved from the word go. And our involvement is about drafting best on the policy direction given our clients.
The state, where it is currently, even if we were to allocate money to NHC, it will not access that money unless we change that housing fund, which is under Cap 117.
Hallmark affects legal certainty, which is a hallmark of the rule of law, good governance, transparency, and accountability under Article 10. Clause 2, paragraphs A and C of the Constitution.
The Attorney General Justin Muturi, appearing before a joint parliamentary committee, has revealed indeed there are loopholes in the housing levy, and now says the laws during its amendment stage should incorporate the counties. Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, at the Parliament headquarters in Nairobi.
Crossing over to Nakuru County now, the Kenya National Union of Nurses has expressed concern over a worrying trend of cases of assault targeting healthcare providers in Nakuru County, saying it is negatively impacting service delivery. This comes after a recent case at Naivasha Sub-County Hospital, where the death of a minor sparked chaos as area residents stormed the facility, accusing the management of negligence.
In Naivasha Referral Hospital in Nakuru County, normal operations continued despite a recent incident that led to a slowdown in activities following the death of an 8-month-old infant. The Kenya National Union of Nurses has raised concerns over the rising attacks against healthcare workers in Nakuru County. However, Nakuru County Secretary Dr. Samuel Mwaura emphasized the need to end attacks on healthcare workers, accusing some politicians of exploiting health matters for personal gain, and assure that the county will prioritize the protection of medical staff from threats and intimidation.
Hii hospitali ya Naivasha imekuwa na shida mingi. It will not be accepted anymore for people to come here to threaten patients and threaten our staff. So haitakubalika tena. And these are warning to all politicians. Hospitali zetu will not be a zone of insecurity. It is unacceptable. Kwamba mtu anakuja kwa hospitali na bunduki kuthreaten madaktari wetu na nurses, haitakubalika tena. Kwamba watu wanakuja kuokolewa maisha hapa wanasiasa wameka watu kwa gate ndio wakuje kuona venye itaendelea ikienda vibaya waanze kufanya siasa. It's unacceptable na itakubalika.
The uncle of the deceased infant revealed that after thorough examination of the body, the family was satisfied to discover that the child died of natural causes and not due to negligence.
As family, tulikuwa tu tunataka kujua kiini cha mtoto wetu kukufa ambacho hatukuwa tumeelezewa hapo mbeleni. Hatukujua mtoto wetu amekufa kwa nini. Hospital management wametuelezea kila kitu, and for now as family tumetosheka.
Dr. Samuel Mwaura, however, admitted that the healthcare facilities in the county are facing a shortage of staff which could be contributing to the challenges faced by healthcare workers.
Employment ikitokea na governor ameanza hiyo process ya employment, nafikiri mtaona very soon watu wasianze kusema kwamba audit kweli itaendelea kwamba tumeajiri watu wengi. Wafanyakazi wa afya lazima ongezewe ili maneno ishe.
Martin Masharia, Lookuptv.
Elizabeth Lemoyog, an FGM survivor in Eastern Samburu, has gone above and beyond to educate the community about its effect through art. Lemoyog's clarion call is for the Ma community to scrap derogative traditions and culture and embrace development.
Genital mutilation continues within the Ma community. On the front line of this war as survivors, we meet Elizabeth Lemoyong, 42-year-old woman and a survivor of FGM in Samburu East and a member of the Pastoralist Girl Foundation, educating the society on the effects of FGM and early marriages using art as a method of elaboration, claiming that the society will understand it way more easier as an interpretation.
Victim of FGM, and I've used this body mapping methodology to work on my own self. As you see, this is my picture. They have drawn me, and everything you see in this picture is what I went through. And I went through FGM. You see here, I used the red color. In arts, I've seen that even red color can speak out. I use the red color, which shows the pain I undergone when I undergone the cut FGM. Here you see there is a blade.
Additionally, Lemoyong explained that the scars that were left in her body during the exercise gave her courage to come forth and denounce FGM and educate the society about its effects using a story. Lemoyong rebuked parents who are still tied to that tradition, indicating that the number of women who have died due to FGM is high. She also encouraged young people to prioritize education to develop the society.
I undergone the cut 1993. That's why what I felt that day, I lose a lot of blood, I fainted, it was very pain. That's why 2012, I started the campaign about FGM, that FGM is not a good practice. FGM has effect in the bodies of our girls. I started the campaign in 2012, I talked to the women, I talked to the men, I talked to the Morans, telling them that FGM is not a good practice.
Juma Lenongiro and Garoi Lemungesi, residents in Samburu, have made a decision to embrace the new knowledge and do away with past traditions and culture.
Tairi tena watoto watakaa bila kutairishwa.
Leo sisi tukiwa wazee tumeamini kwa watoto wamepata masomo na tumekubaliana tukiwa wazee na tumekataa maneno ya mimba za mapema, tumekataa maneno ya ukeketaji ya wasichana.
Charles, Lookuptv.
Residents of Ngurubani town in Kirinyaga took to the streets to protest a court decision that declared their ownership of the over 29-acre piece of land illegal. In a ruling, Chuka High Court declared that the transfer of the ownership was done illegally.
Since in Ngurubaini town in Mwea, Kirinyaga, hundreds of residents held peaceful protests to challenge a court decision that declared them illegal owners of a piece of land. A ruling delivered at Chuka High Court, Justice Lucy Gitari indicated that documents before court showed that the land belonged to the late Ndege Warui and that one of his sons had transferred the land to his name without the knowledge of his family and proceeded to demarcate and discard off the land. The angry residents disputing the decision, laying claim of the 29-acre piece of land.
People have supportive documents like title deeds, approval minutes from the Kirinyaga County Council, and to date, they are paying their annual rates to the county government. We as the Muslim community and the affected people would like to reiterate that we respect the court, but we disagree with the ruling made by Judge Lucy Kitari. We have with immediate effect instructed our legal team to file an appeal. We are also seeking intervention of the governor as we are the legal owners of the land in question.
Ndio tunawaambia wakati huu hizo title zote ziwe revoked zote, kwa sababu wasipofanya hivyo, ndugu zangu, ni watu watauana. Si ikiwachiliwa iende vile ilivyo, basi tutakuwa ndio tumefukua hasara kubwa sana, makaburi yaliyolala katika hii kaunti yetu ya Kirinyaga.
Among the developments of the disputed piece of land include a private hospital, mosque, school, several business premises and residential units.
We have nowhere to live from here now. So ours is to look forward to appeal, no negotiation, because this one has been done once or twice, and now we are looking forward to appeal the case, and then we have our rights, justice, looking forward for it, and hope if all will be well.
George Kayesi, Lookuptv.
On to some sporting action now. On the 6th edition of the Safari Golf Tour came to an end with a total number of 9 pro golfers qualifying for the magical Kenya Open. 8 Kenyans and 9 foreigners will be participating in the event that will be held in Muthaiga Golf Club from the 22nd to 25th of this month. Veteran golfer Dismas Indiza emerged the winner of the tour, stunning Uganda's Ronald Regumayo, who finished in the 2nd place, while another Kenyan, Greg Snow, finished in the 3rd place.
Like I said, I'm just looking forward to a couple of days off and then get back to practicing ready for the Open.
Thank you very much.
Football now, and 2 times African football champions and this year's African host nation, that is Cote d'Ivoire, will be on a litmus test against the 1974 winners DR Congo in a nail-biting semi-final of the 2023 African encounter. The host nation will miss the services of Umar Diakite and Odilon Kesenu, who was sent off against Mali. Sergio Rier and Christian Kwame will also be sidelined out of today's game following their suspension on yellow cards. And just before I wrap this bulletin up is that in the other semi-final, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the team that I support, are currently leading South Africa in the Amapiano Derby, courtesy of their captain, William Troost-Ekong, from the Sport. Now, we will be hoping that we win this game and Ivory Coast qualify so that we can be able to beat them, or rather, of course, win the title at their home turf. That is all that we had for you tonight here on The Insight. Until tomorrow, do have yourself a wonderful night, and like always, God bless.